Last Sunday morning we embarked on a new sermon series that will carry us to the beginning of Lent, entitled, How Then Do We Live? As we live, as the curse puts it, in interesting times, what does that mean for us who are followers of Jesus Christ? How do we live faithfully in uncertain, perhaps even for some, troubling times? Interesting times require deep people, thoughtful people, faithful people, strong people, courageous people. People who know what they are here for, who they are to be, and what they are called to stand for. People of conviction and character. One of my seminary professors, Lou Smedes, tells the story of his brothers Wes, who had just a year of reasonably quality of life ahead of him, give or take a month or two, about as much as a person with a malignant tumor in his right brain could expect. Smedes writes, but what is a person going to do with himself when he has only a year to do it? So I asked Wes, what are you going to do with yourself? And his brother said, I'm thinking of something, but I would feel a little silly talking about it. Okay, Lou said, if you would rather not discuss it. Well, I think I'd like to tell you, Wes said. What I want is to become a better person than I've been. A better person. Smedes says, why, for goodness sake? Why worry about that at a time like this? And Wes shook his head, I don't really know. And Smedes reflects, odd thing, it wasn't at all what I expected him to say. Still, he made some sense. Life is about making some progress at being what we are meant to be. The way being a bud is about becoming a blossom and then an orange or an apple. We have an inner itch to be more of what we are meant to be. It is that inner itch wired in the human soul that we are tending to throughout this series, not only because we need it, but because it takes a host of better persons to forge a better world. Let us pray. God of grace, speak to us a new word. Remind us that our lives matter to you and to our world. To that end, may the words of my mouth and the meditations of our hearts please you, O Lord, for you alone are our rock and our Redeemer. Amen. I suppose it could be argued that the basic thread of most sermons is some aspect of Christian character. That this series is, in reality, a 52 Sundays a year for a lifetime sermon series. You cannot walk very far in our sacred text without bumping into some divine hope for who we will be and how we will live our lives. On one side of the coin, the greatest theme woven throughout our sacred text is the amazing gift of God's grace. God's love and presence, unearnable, undeservable. God's mercy and forgiveness are ours, no strings attached. On the other side of that coin is the reality that God has desires for our lives. Like any parent, love is given unconditionally. Still, there are hopes and encouragements. There are dreams and expectations for that child's life. My parents wrote me a letter when I was first born. It was sealed in an envelope and held in my baby book until I went on to college. This is what my parents wrote. It still brings tears to my eyes. Dearest Linny, that's what they called me all those years ago. Welcome to the world. We have so looked forward to being your parents. You are precious to us. We've been praying for you since we first learned you were coming. Sweetie, it is our deepest hope that you will soon learn how important it is to be cautious and careful. It is an awful, scary world out there, and there's really not much one person can do except to get what you can while you can. It is best to play it safe, maybe even just pull the blankets over your head, find ways to fly under the radar until things get better, which, of course, they never will. So don't get your hopes up. It is best to succumb to despair sooner than later. Save yourself the disappointments of even trying. We hope that by the time you are reading this letter, you have become the morose, miserable, anxious young woman we have envisioned since long ago, one who will never take unnecessary risks. Aim low. Remember, it's all about you. A little selfishness never hurt anyone. And that is a good way to get through the awful times that are sure to come. So embrace your limitations. Don't overdo it. And be careful out there. Love, Mommy and Daddy. Okay, I made that up. No parent begins with those sorts of hopes. Neither does God, and neither do we. God does love us just as we are, and what a relief that is. And God holds out the hope for us that we will become more of who we are meant to be. God seems to think we can be better, that we can do better. Not only for ourselves, but for our world, which now and always has had this wild mixture of good and bad, triumph and tragedy, beauty and brokenness running through its veins. Which brings us to the Apostle Paul's words in his letter to the church in Corinth. Words about love, words about how to live in interesting times. Love, he says, hopes all things, endures all things. And by extension, people of character hope all things and endure all things. The 40th Psalm that Travis read this morning helps us understand this particular character trait. It is a psalm of highs and lows that are deeply rooted in the bedrock of hope. Life is a tangle of them, highs and lows, a roller coaster of good seasons and bad seasons. Listen again to the psalmist's honesty about his experiences and feelings. He writes, I waited patiently for the Lord. He inclined to me and heard my cry. He drew me up from the desolate pit, out of the miry bog, and set my feet upon a rock, making my steps secure. He put a new song in my mouth, a song of praise to our God. There is a whiplash, a contrast in there. Desolate pit, miry bog, feet upon a rock, secure steps, a new song. The inevitable roller coaster that is life, at times up and at times down, as individuals, as communities, as societies. And people of character learn to hope all things, endure all things. Their hope and endurance creating deeper, resolved, more confident character. And here's what I think that means. The person of character recognizes that whatever the circumstance, they have choices about how they will respond. And the person of faith chooses to root their responses in the bedrock of hope. They choose hope, a daily, sometimes hourly deciding to trust that God is still God and that today is not final. And so they endure. Not a passive, head under the covers endurance, but an intentional, making right what is wrong endurance. People of character do not give up. They persist. They fight through it. They outlast it. They can be frustrated, sad, and even angry. But they refuse to let despair derail them. They keep getting out of bed, showing up. They pray and they work because of the hope they've chosen. They endure. In his book, God Has a Dream, Desmond Tutu, Black Archbishop of South Africa during the fall of apartheid, begins chapter 6 this way. He writes, "Dear child of God, I am sorry to say that suffering is not optional. It seems to be part and parcel of the human condition, but suffering can either embitter or ennoble. Our suffering can become a spirituality of transformation when we understand that we have a role in God's transformation of the world." Nelson Mandela spent 27 years in prison, 18 of them on Robben Island, breaking rocks into little stones, a totally senseless task. Those ghastly, suffering-filled 27 years actually were not a waste. In jail, Mandela mellowed. He began to discover depths of resilience and spiritual attributes that he would not have known that he had. Clearly, he made the daily decision to hope, which enabled him to endure. And Nelson Mandela changed millions of lives. Indeed, he altered the world. Hopes all things, endures all things. 27 years is a very long time. Few of us are called to endure that long. In the same way, few of us are called to endure the cross in the same way that Jesus did. I confess that my capacity for suffering and struggle wears thin pretty quickly. I have my own desolate pits and miry bogs, just as the psalmist had his, and it is likely that you have yours. The call of character is to feed the hope that feeds endurance, which deepens character. Character that enriches our lives, our relationships, and perhaps even our world. Hope enjoys the good moments and outlasts the difficult ones because it is convinced, even when it seems foolish, that as the psalmist wrote, joy comes in the morning. Though that doesn't necessarily mean tomorrow, right? Again, Archbishop Tutu writes, "Goodness does not always prevail in the time frame of our lives. There's a wonderful Portuguese saying that God writes straight with crooked lines. God works through history to realize God's dream. God makes a proposal to each of us and hopes our response will move that dream forward. But if we don't, God does not abandon the goal. God does not abandon the dream. God does not abandon us. God just adjusts God's methods to accommodate the detour. But we will come back to the main road." In other words, God is still God. Today is not final. Let us hope. Let us endure. Let us hope. Let us endure. Let us hope. Let us endure. God is still God. Today is not final. Let us pray. Lord, we thank you both for the no matter whatness of your amazing grace, as well as for your desire that we and our world become more of who we are meant to be. As you are even today writing straight with crooked lines, in the roller coaster of good seasons and bad, may we walk in hope and determination with you and with one another toward the future you intend.